Right. So, what happened last time?
Fucking shit.
Oh.
Yeah, let me just kind of load to it.
Sandy, you're very quiet.
Yeah.
I'm not
You can always set her up. Alright, so you... Okay. After being captured by the Hobgoblins from last session, you guys then ended up... actually, Alexia was able to think of a excuse on the spot of hiding a make-believe gold that you guys didn't have, and that you gotta pay your own ransom for, which the Hobgoblins bought, and they sent Throwing Bear out to go retrieve it despite his wounds. After being sent out with only his backpack, I think it was.
Yeah, backpack, 2 rations, and my water skin, but shared the rations with Droopy.
Yep. After you immediately went out and you tried to teach Droopy how to bandage wounds. Probably wasn't the most. It wasn't very exactly easy, but he eventually got it. But right after you taught him, the Silda and Gundren rocked up, and you guys were trying to have a rest while the party was trying to escape. Reddy was able to convince one of the Hobgoblins that he drank poison.
I mean, he did.
I mean, alcohol is poison, but yeah. And convinced him that he was the only one that knew the treatment. And got one of the Hobgoblins to constantly run back and forth. Well, the Hobgoblins got bored, racked off, and Phelan was able to break free and cast Fog Cloud, I believe it was. Can't remember what the spell was.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. And after that, all hell broke loose. Every man for himself. Reddy bolted out through the front door, getting chased by a wolf. Thargash and Alexia bolted out the other way. Unfortunately, Phelan stayed behind, distracting the majority of the Hobgoblins. And unfortunately fell in combat. But she was able to make a good distraction at least.
Sorry, was that fell in combat? Feeling?
Ha 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 ha.
Yes. Phonetics.
Rennie, as you were escaping, some rocks fell in your head. I forgot to mention that last time.
Oh, that's fine. Cool. I'm on 1 HP.
Yep. And also, despite the only person that saw that, not saw, but heard that Phelan was surrounded was Alexia. Alexia thought she'll be fine. I mean, it's Phelan. Jeep Gory get herself out of it and decided to bolt out of there. After running out, you guys, Throwing Bear and Silda and the rest of the side characters did see. You guys ended up joining up together, and after a small pursuit, which they gave up pretty easily on, you guys are now in a forest and able to catch your breath. Guys?
Yeah,
Right.
Is that like the field is ours? What are we doing?
Yep.
Okay.
The field is yours.
So I guess Throwing Bear would be at first like happy that, seeing everyone else come out, but he would very quickly notice that Phelan wasn't amongst everyone, and would pipe up and say, where's Phelan?
She was right behind me.
Well, where is?
Yes,
am
where's
I,
Horn's master? Sorry.
am I still a rat, or did I change?
You changed
You
back.
change back, yeah.
I think I'll have to. I'll go have a look for her.
You are severely wounded still.
We're all in really rough shape.
But as a rat, they won't be able to tell, would they?
Yeah, but wolves won't attack you.
Will really? Will wolves still attack me as a rat?
Yeah, your food.
Your food.
Oh. Well, you can convince me out of it if you want, but
Well, if Throwing Bear would, he'd pipe up and say,
It's... If we're going to go back, we all have to go back, but we can't fight like this. Maybe she's gone a different way?
I don't know. I think there was only the one way, but maybe they just captured her again.
at that, Throwing Bear would look fairly panicked.
Dagash fires up and says, well, there's not much we can do at the moment anyway. We really need to rest. He cops an absolute flogging getting out of there.
Throwing Bear slowly nods. Looking around, I quickly sort of take stock that we're all pretty busted up and suggest
Maybe we set up camp and try and head there after a rest and be not quite so in bad shape where I don't want to wait, but it's a bad
We're going to be
idea.
no good to her anyway if we go in like this.
Hmm, I agree.
I agree.
So are we all here, by the way?
What? Yeah, Silda, Gundrum, Droopy is with you.
so. Throwing Bear would sort of indicate for everyone to come over to kind of where Throwing Bear sort of like started to, I guess, set up camp while that whole encounter was happening, where Silda and Gundren found him and Droopy kind of working away and that sort of thing. I guess he's, saying that, maybe we should, camp it out.
Yeah, Dagash sort of agrees.
Gundrum says, please, whatever you guys believe you should do. You guys did save him after all.
Okay, well, let's set up here and we'll head at first light.
Actually, hold on. What time is it? Because I think it was like afternoon when all of that was happening.
You guys ended up staying there because of short rest and everything. You rocked up at Cragmaw Castle at 12. So you guys ended up having short rest.
We had
It's about
a short...
4 or 5.
Okay, so
I'd
yeah.
say 5.
Alright.
So yeah, let's head out at first light. Maybe we can use the early morning as a distraction.
I agree.
Throwing Bear would make sure that Rennie's open wound is attended. Like his current wound, Throwing Bear's wound is currently okay, but he's making sure that Rennie hasn't busted anything open.
Yeah, that's fine, but remember you guys most of you are unequipped right now.
Most people don't have their equipment, correct?
Yeah.
I have my bag.
You do, yeah. Actually, you grabbed your bag on your way out. You asked one of the Hobgoblins
Yeah.
to bring your bag over.
Yeah,
So,
because
should
I was tending to the poisoned guy. Would my weapons have been in that bag?
If you left them in your bag, yes. If it was in your belt,
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess the crossbow would have been on my belt. What else did I have? 2 daggers.
no. I'll leave it up to your discretion. What was in your bag? You did say that you need those 2 scrolls. Or those scrolls, so I'll say you also have Gundren's map as well. They just grabbed all the scrolls there.
Lagash turns to Sildar and Gundram and says, we might need some equipment to try and get this back. Is there anything you can lend us?
I think I would have 1 dagger on me, so if anyone can use that.
If you don't, you can use my sword, but I won't have anything else.
Are they going to, so are you guys going to come help?
I mean, Gundram, Silla says, well, Gundram is, obviously can't fight. Your little goblin friend here can't fight either.
So I think Sildar had a crossbow as well as a scimitar or something or other?
Never did give it back to him.
No, we outfitted him that before we left. When we were in Phandalin. So he should still have the crossbow and a scimitar.
You're right, yeah, he did have the light crossbow.
We didn't give him
used
his.
it as well?
Yeah, we didn't give him his equipment because we never got it to him. But you know, we did. He did have equipment from Phandalin.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I guess like at the moment, Throwing Bear's just trying to make sure that Rennie's as patched up as he can be. He'd definitely ask Sildar if he had any bandages or anything like that to sort of like help along with this. Failing that, he would probably look around and try and salvage some plant fibers to make into like natural bandages.
Remember, you are exhausted as well.
Yeah, I know.
So, I guess you can give me a survival check with disadvantage.
Yep.
All of us are exhausted.
No, only Throwing Bear.
Throwing Bear's in a bad way. It's still not too bad. Rolling a 12.
Also, Sildar doesn't mind staying up to treating your wounds.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what Throwing Bear's doing for the night. Is just trying to make sure that Rennie and Throwing Bear's wounds are as good as possible, and would probably be helping with Sildar and Gundren, but ultimately he's just resting, trying to recover.
Alright. Where is it?
So, do we have any idea of how many guys were left in there? Was it 3 or?
There was more than that. Like, we knew there was at least like 4 hobgoblins plus the wolves.
Targash says, what are our options here? I mean, we have no equipment. There's enough of them in there to take us back out again. I'm not sure we can do that without any, even base equipment.
I'm able to cast my spells. Alexia, can you cast your spells?
I don't have any spells at the moment.
So you don't have a focus?
I have cantrips. I've just used up all my spells.
I don't know if
assuming
Druid...
that we sleep though.
No. I think what's
I'm
being
trying to
asked
think.
is the spellcasting focus. Like, do druids require a focus to be able to cast spells? Like, is it a small twig
yeah,
or something
but
like that.
I was wearing it.
Okay.
Is it something that would have been taken off her, Jason?
If you were wearing it, yeah. The only people that would have that stuff is Rennie.
Well, okay.
Rennie.
What would the focus look like? Because that would also determine whether it would be taken. Because if it looked valuable, then yeah.
Yeah,
Basically,
sorry, I'm
what
just
I'm trying to
checking my
establish-
warcaster.
What I'm trying to establish,
That's
No, it
completely
was a
different.
totem.
Yeah.
It was a totem.
assuming we sleep on it, and are we actually equipped enough to be able to fight? Throwing Bear, you, I believe, can fight without weapons,
Yeah.
correct? You're good in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
Dargash, I just gave you a dagger. I know it's not what you're used to fighting with, but it's better than nothing. Alexia, if you can cast spells, I can also cast spells, so...
They
And
wouldn't have taken my totem, so...
Throwing Bear would
Yeah.
point out the fact that Silda does have a light crossbow as well as a scimitar, so there is a scimitar that could be potentially used as well.
Yeah, I might. Dagash turns to Sildar and say, "Well, if you keep you in the back with the crossbow, I think I could potentially be of more use with the scimitar."
He's fine giving that up.
What is it? Just
Sid does do that. It says he'll stay behind and protect the non-combatants.
Okay.
what? That's what I was going to say behind. We're going to need him with his.
Yeah, he's going to stay behind the party with his
Oh,
crossbow. Like,
Well, it will be more dangerous, but we are equipped enough to return tomorrow. We just need to try and pick them off one at a time. Not trying to...
I only need a short rest to...
No,
we
we
need a full rest. There is no way that Throwing Bear would be quite, if you were to bring that up, Throwing Bear would be quite vocal in saying that, you know, it's a suicide mission if we don't.
yeah. Thargash is sitting there dripping in blood with 3 HP and no
Yeah.
hit dice.
Yeah, Throwing Bear's at 2 with no hit dice and the level of exhaustion. He's...
Remember, you guys are leveling up to 14 as well, so...
Oh, we're getting to level 14.
14.
Oh, sweet.
You guys are getting to level 4.
Yeah. The only thing I got was 2 extra ability points. Which, by the way, my armor class is based off my Dex and Con mod.
Yep.
So after I boosted my Con, I had to manually update my armor class to be 17.
I'm pretty sure you can do that pretty easily, so yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I did it. I was just saying that's why I did it.
Yep.
And I rolled the minimum, another 11 hit points.
I can't remember. Have I rolled my HP for 1 level? I think I did.
I'm not really taking care of that, so...
Yeah, It just seems like I've less HP than I should, and I just calculated out the base, and I'm 3 behind where I should be, so maybe I rolled 1.
I think you
Level.
did at one point. You did roll 1. I vaguely remember that.
I actually remember that conversation. I think it was after the stream we were setting up our characters for the next level, and you were like, I'm going to roll, and it was really bad.
Yeah, and I said I'm gonna roll as well, and I ended up rolling like 1 above the base. I'm like, yeah, sweet. Like 1 above the average.
I think I may have to get rid of rolling, because this is actually getting pretty bad.
It's fine as
Yeah,
long
thank
as
you,
we
guys.
make note of what it is. But anyway,
Yeah, but anyways, moving
Can
on.
I just check? With my health, it said that I can take 5 plus my Constitution modifier per druid level after first.
Yeah, so just 5 plus your Con mod.
Okay.
so that
Right,
yeah,
I
if
did
you
it
were
right.
rolling your health, and you roll and take whatever that number is plus your con mod.
No.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you want to increase roll for your health, you just roll a hit die.
And that's my con mod before I level up, yeah?
No, for level 1 you get Druid.
No, before I level up to 4. I can't level up to 4 and then...
yeah, no, it's before you add anything extra to your con mod.
Okay. Alright. And it'll automatically like if because I got an ability score improvement, it automatically changes my spell save DC, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Alright, then I just wanted to check those.
Yep.
Yeah, your main stat is Wisdom, Sammy, so...
Yeah, it's on 19 now.
Okay. So I'm guessing we're going for a long rest. That's what we're doing.
Yep.
I'll take first watch.
Yeah, pretty sure Rennie was also got an open wound as well.
Yeah. That's why Throwing Bear was helping out with Rennie's wound.
Alright, yeah, I won't worry about the freaking thing during the night. I'm just gonna say with someone watching it over the night, it just kills.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, so you guys get your long night's rest, and you are now level 4.
Okay, and we get half our hit dice back here.
Yep.
And I lose my exhaustion level.
Yep, you had a long rest.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot, you did roll survival. Said you found a herb, right?
That was to like try and make bandages if Sildar didn't have any. That's what that was for.
Okay.
By the way, nice done on the character sheets. They look a little bit nicer.
Yeah. I noticed that the coins are actually a thing now.
That's just an update.
Oh, okay. Well, nicely done on the update.
Thanks for thanking me there. I mean, like, I really appreciate it. I really worked hard on nothing,
Yeah,
you know?
I imagine you did. Having to log in, it's difficult work.
Yeah.
It's better than my response. My response was, ugh, it changed.
That sounds like a feeling thing. Alright, so yeah, we've rested, and I guess we're up the next morning.
Yep.
Alright, Throwing Bear would be up pretty early. Like, as soon as it's, as soon as he's kind of like gotten enough for an early rest, he looks anxious to get back to Cragmaw Castle. I'd probably say like he's probably looking around the trees as well, trying to find like a decent branch that he can rip off to use as a staff.
Bit upbeat, but I don't really have much.
Oh,
Whoa, arigato, Mr. Roboto.
yeah, I copped that too.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's alright. So what did you just say?
A bit upbeat, but that's all I got.
Oh, no.
I
Like,
forgot.
when you were... I thought you...
Yeah, I know, that's what I said.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, so does he find a branch that he could use as a staff?
I'll say you can find it.
Okay.
I mean, essentially it's just an improvised weapon, so you are not proficient with it.
I mean, it's a branch, and branches are turned into
also-
staff.
Yes, but you would have to, like, carve it out and everything, which you do not have the tools. I mean, you could, but...
If that's the case, I don't think he'd worry about it then. Like, I would have figured that.
yeah, I mean, quarter stuff is such a simple thing.
It is the epitome of simple weapon.
Yeah. I mean, you just find a good stick, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright guys, I'm assuming morning comes awake and along, and do we have any idea of what we're gonna, any plans for this? We know there's a bunch in there. We don't know the state of Zealand. You wanna try and sneak in, or... We can draw one out and ambush it.
Wear its skin as a disguise. Oh wait, I'm not there.
Who was that?
So what are you guys doing?
Sorry, was just sorting something out on my sheet. Throwing Bear would pipe up and say,
We go in, we see what we can see, try and locate where Phelan is without drawing attention, and if we do see an opportunity to take out one of the hobgoblins, we take them out one at a time. Don't try and get into a big fight. We want to be quick and quiet.
Okay. Alright, I guess we'll head back up to the... Unless, do you have anything to say, Rennie? Alexia?
Oh, not really.
We should head back, but yeah, we definitely need to try and take them out one at a time if we can.
Do any of you have a way of being able to look in the distance without actually being there?
Without being what?
Without being there?
Ooh.
I do not.
Would Throwing Bear be able to suggest such a thing?
okay, that's a valid point. I don't know. I would assume
Yeah, I
that...
don't think he would know too much about magic and all that.
No,
I mean,
that is fair, but again, like, his community is, like, heavily druidic.
Yeah, but you kind of withdrew from that.
Yeah,
as
okay,
well.
that's fine. So, you didn't suggest that, never mind.
Yeah.
How long have we been hanging out?
For the night.
No, like in general, like group.
Nearly a week, yes.
It's a lot of sessions for not a lot of time.
I have something that might help us. I've got 2 spells that I am considering using. One is called Blur, where
It gives you an AC plus, I'm pretty sure.
where
Oh,
I
which
can,
is cool. Dead.
yeah, where it makes us really like hard to see. But then I also have Silence, which
You do have to prepare your spells in the morning, Sandy, so...
yeah, they're always prepared. These 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've also got Silence, which allows me to create a no sound barrier within a 20-foot radius.
Ooh, that could be useful. We're trying to keep the alert level down.
How many times are you able to use this spell, though?
So it lasts up to 10 minutes. I can only use it like 3 times, and that's using all the spells on my level 2.
It can be centered on a creature or object, by the way.
Thank you. That was going to be my next question. So I can cast this on us. Only thing is that if somebody comes into this,
Do I know?
then
I'll
they'll
point out
know.
3 things with Silence as well. 1, you can move with it. 2, you cannot cast spells within it.
I was about
not-
to say, do I know if this will affect both mine and...
Yes, it's very obvious that it would.
But you could potentially, if we come across a hobgoblin or a wolf or something, you could cast it on them, so then at least their sounds of battle will be kept quiet. You know, the people in the back shooting and muttering spells aren't going to be anywhere near as loud as the yelling and clanging of weapons, which will be surrounded by the silence spell. Namely myself and Throwing Bear.
It does depend how far away.
Throwing Bear just nods at this.
I don't know. I feel like we should just cast it on a stick, and then take the stick around with us, and we can throw the stick at someone's feet.
That's a fucking good idea.
As a player, I was thinking that.
It's totally possible.
Alright, well, once we...
Maybe on a rock, because then I can punch holding the rock and throw it if we need to, close a gap or something.
Alright, I will do it on a rock.
We'll pick up a handful of rocks.
You only need one.
Oh, you might lose it. I don't know.
Okay, alright. I'll wait to cast this, but...
Maybe when we're outside the...
Yeah, just outside the doors. Then I'll cast it.
Thanks. That was a bit too cheery for the...
Yeah.
So, this throwing bear looks around and goes,
Well, let's get moving. I want to find feeling.
Alright.
That means we can move with a bit more speed. We could run around in silence inside the castle.
True. How big's the radius? 20 feet?
20 feet.
Yeah, nice. 20-foot radius?
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
40
Yeah,
feet.
40
around.
foot.
40 foot
Yeah.
circle.
Alright, let's do this.
Alright, so...
But Fargash puts his hand out and says, for feeling.
Throwing Bear wouldn't know what that's about, would just nod and then like start heading, like put his hand out as well, but like wouldn't be anywhere near enough to kind of like stacks on sort of thing.
Well, Fargash just fist bumps it then. And moves on.
Okay. Yeah.
Left-handed.
Throwing Bear would be like itching at the bit, like he's visibly anxious and like moving, kind of having to kind of like check his speed and like rein himself in a little bit at a time.
Alright, so I'll drag you guys over. Just make sure you guys map. And I forgot to set up a fucking Nikki's token. My bad.
Thank you.
The one thing I forgot.
Fargash sort of says, just whispers, we're going to need to be in a pretty tight grouping. I'm suggesting myself and Throwing Bear up front.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jason.
Yeah,
we also need somebody who's not going to be casting spells to hold the rock. Who would like to hold the rock?
Throwing Bear just reaches out.
Alright, here you go, Throwing Bear. One rock. Oh, are we outside the doors yet?
No.
We still gotta close the
uh,
distance to the castle.
yeah.
I'll cast
What was
it
the distance
anyway.
I said again?
Sorry?
What was the distance I said was clearing between the castle and forest?
I don't remember. I think I think it vaguely remember it being like 50 feet or something. But I
I'll
could
just
be
say
wrong.
that then,
Okay.
because I came up with that on the spot.
Yeah.
Alright, are we ready to go? Because I'll cast this as soon as we're ready.
Before we do, can we see any movement around any of the windows
Yeah.
or any patrols or anything?
Throwing Bear would sort of like quite clearly point out that they should do a lap around the castle to see if they can see anything, any movement whatsoever from any windows.
Alright, so like I guess everyone just give me a perception check.
Perception.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
With help?
Oh!
Wow!
You!
2 nat 20s in a row.
I'll leave it.
I mean, I said
I think we're
everyone roll it. No one's
Okay.
getting it. You can't help someone with perception as well.
Is everyone rolling
Yeah.
perception?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Does it even matter?
I mean, it depends.
Oh. Rolled a
2
5.
nat 20s and then a natural 1.
If it no, not in that one.
I mean, let's try to keep the combo going.
Yeah.
And he's distracted by a bird.
Sandy?
Only fly away.
Alright, so Sandy wrecks it, so... Yeah, get your pitchforks out. So yeah,
Excuse me, what?
you break the combo. Alright, so you guys see the castle walls, and the castle walls. Nice 20s.
Right, so there's no movement.
we're not looking in, as I said, through the windows as we're moving around the castle to...
Yep, I said you get a full lap around and you see absolutely no movement.
No movement inside? Okay.
No noise, nothing.
Nothing.
Alright.
Remembering that there was the, like, back entrance sort of thing, Throne Bear would sort of, like, indicate they should go in through that way.
Okay. That was up here.
It's up here. From memory.
So if you guys want to go to the top, kind of drag you over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. And move as you like.
Alright. So yeah,
We're
Throne
gonna
Bear...
cast the spell silence.
Yeah. And remembering that the castle's dark, Throne Bear goes to look in his pack for a torch, and then kind of like does that thing where you silently go, "Ah, crap, there's nothing in there."
So if you did cast Silence, can you cast it? So we got it record.
Sandy's not hearing anything, so I'll just tell her.
Just before she's casting it, I walk over to Rennie and say,
It's dark inside. Maybe it might be worthwhile making some light before everything gets quiet.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would like to cast. Well, we're all going to be centered around the rock that's going to be silenced. So I cast light cantrip on
on the rock?
On that rock.
Okay, cool.
Oh, dope.
I'm currently having to watch on the stream because I'm not there.
Yeah, I'm setting up your token now.
Oh, good. I'm not there. It's fine.
Just so you can at least see what's going on.
She's watching through the stream, but yeah.
You've got access to my sheet real quick. That way she can see.
But you guys just keep playing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so you've cast the light cantrip on the rock, and then the silence spell goes on the rock as well.
Yep, so I'll just drag a torch in for the rock.
Yeah.
So we've got light.
Alright, yeah, so knowing that we've got a time limit on the silent spell, Throwing Bear would be moving like pretty quickly.
Are you carrying the rock?
Yeah, he's holding the rock in his hand.
Okay.
We'll just move as a tight group following Throwing Bear's lead.
Yep.
Might help if bring the torch, yep. Okay. Throwing Bear looks to the door where Bear was, but sort of knows that Bear's gone, so he's moving along to where they were captured.
Alright, so when you guys do enter the room...
I would like to be looking in every single, door off to the side and letting other people worry about the doors in front of us. So, I want to be making sure no one sees us running past sort of thing.
Yeah.
You do... When you pick into this room, you do find Phelan's hat corpse.
Is it enough that Throwing Bear would recognize it, or is it kind of going to take a little bit of an investigation to work out what's going on
there?
We recognize her clothing.
You can recognize her clothing as well as the pigment of her skin, as well as her tail and all that. Remember, she was a tiefling.
Yeah. So seeing that, Throwing Bear would obviously start shaking. You'd almost be forgiven for thinking that he's about to burst into a seizure. And he runs over and quickly looks down at the body, but then quickly looks up and is kind of surveying the room, looking for anything living, basically.
You look in the room, and there's nothing here, but you do notice, even though her corpse was hacked, her head is missing.
Right. Are there any bloody footprints or anything else?
Oh yeah, bloody.
Okay. Where are they leading?
All over the place. The blood's.
Are they
pretty
like... Okay, so what I'm asking is, are there a set of tracks that are leading out that he would be able to spot and, like, start heading in that direction?
I mean, you would have. You did circle around, so.
Sargash pipes up and says,
You wouldn't hear it. Silence.
I mean,
taps everyone on the...
Yeah, we can't talk in this here.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a shit.
Yeah, so... So, Jason, are there footprints leading in a direction that he can follow?
Yeah, there's some going outside.
Alright, he'd be tracking that way. That'd be the very first thing he's doing, like...
I mean, as soon as, if you do go outside, you'll notice that they do disappear. The dirt
Did it
seems to...
rain last night, did it?
No, but, like, the blood is gonna wear off. It's not gonna be constantly fresh the whole way. But, looking around, am I also seeing, like, the wolf prints as well? Like, from those prints, am I getting a sense that there is no one left in this castle?
Yep, there is no one left, but I did start moving things, so there's a dead wolf that looks like it was charred to a crispy tender.
Right.
Sargash goes up to the room where we were stripped of our shit.
Alright, so you guys ignore...
No. I'm getting to that. So, seeing that there is no one left here, he throws the rock, like, clean out. And I don't think that from the position anyone would see him because of the direction he's facing. But all of a sudden, everyone would just start hearing like you'd be hearing Throwing Bear roaring like an absolutely enraged bear. Just all of a sudden, and obviously everything it'd go dark as the torch gets like as the torchlight gets thrown as well, straight out through the front door. He'd then be like stalking straight back in, still roaring like an enraged bear, heading back towards Phelan.
Sargash in that time is going to pick up Phelan's corpse.
Isn't it like all chopped up?
No, it's not all chopped up, it's just the head's missing.
Oh,
Yeah.
just the head.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's plenty of slash wounds. The corpse is pretty mad as well.
I tell not Throwing Bear, Sargash, to take her outside and we'll give her a proper burial when we're done here.
Throwing Bear would walk over and just take the body straight off Thargash, still like, still roaring like a kind of at the point where you're wondering how a single creature can have that much oxygen in their lungs, how they can roar for that long. But he'd be going blue in the face and still visibly trembling and tears just streaming down his face.
Yeah, Sargash relinquishes the body without a issue.
I would like to quickly go to where I know they had our bags and stuff to see whether anything's left that I can...
I'm also looking for my shit.
I mean, a couple of rocks fall on your head as you're walking by.
So while they're doing this, Throwing Bear...
They're getting the shit back. I mean, the shit's more important than the fallen companion.
Throwing
No,
Bear's...
well, we can't do anything.
Picking up
Throwing Bear's taking care of.
Phelan and is walking back towards where would he go? He'd actually be walking towards Bear. So
Well, while that's happening, yeah, we're gonna grab our shit and then go out from this accursed place. Lagash says to the rest of the guys here that there's nothing we can do for her now. Let's just get our stuff and get out, and we'll pay our respects in the best way.
Yeah, so bringing Felin's corpse towards where Bear is, Throwing Bear would eventually sort of like run out of breath, and not that anyone's knowing, his mouth is still open in a silent scream. He has no breath left. And he's looking incredibly pale, tears just rolling down his cheeks. Yeah, kind of like slumped in posture, but like still cradling the heavily mutilated body of Phelan.
Can we, because I would like to do stuff with what you're doing as well, Throwing Bear. I mean, yeah. Can we sort our shit out quickly?
I've already
Yeah. Alright, so when it comes to your bags, I'll just quickly tell you, anything of value is gone. So if anyone's got like anything that's worth something, can you just kind of type it in the chat as well as your gold amount? That way, you know, copy and paste it.
When you say worth something, what do you classify as worth something? I mean...
weapons don't matter, but like if it's like say you're the chalice and knife in a sense that you found gone.
Okay, I lit. You can look in my my kit, my character sheet if you want. I don't think I was carrying anything of worth. Take a look. Aside from the coins I was carrying.
Do we write it elsewhere?
Just type it in the chat. I'll just go. Like you can just copy and paste it. Because I'm pretty sure not everyone had too many stuff.
Alright, well, on account that I'm not actually looking at that at the moment, you want me going through that as well, or? Because all of my gold's gone, I know that straight off the bat, so I can get rid of all of the currency.
Yeah, it's just like if you do find these guys, though.
Oh, Jason, shit, yeah. The knife that was worth 60.
They took it.
Would that have taken? Yeah, they took it.
It looked nice. It was shiny.
Did they take Silda's gear?
You know what? No, they wouldn't. It's just armor and shit, so Silda can get his shit back.
I'll give Silda back the scimitar.
So you add Silda. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you could always give him back his gear, but what else?
Yeah, you can get his gear back, but I also don't want his scimitar for no reason.
Oh, I mean, it's technically yours, so.
Oh, was it? Oh, that wasn't his scimitar.
No.
Right. Alright then.
So yeah, just delete this other scar gear, he'll just take all his shit.
Now, would they have taken the glass staff and the feather engraved staff?
Weapons, they wouldn't. Normal weapons, they wouldn't have taken.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Like the glass staff itself, the staff that glass staff was holding, would they have taken that? Being that it's made of glass and like a bit unusual.
That's an excellent point. You know, I'll just run it all for.
I reckon they'd probably. I reckon they'd probably taken the glass staff, but not the owl engraved. The
feather
engraved
one.
Yeah, definitely not the stick.
Okay, so I'm guessing I'll pick that up and I'll just put the glass stuff in there as well.
Who had it? The glass stuff?
Me, Throwing Bear.
Alright, roll me 1d2. 2, you. They didn't take it. 1, they did. They
take it. Yep. So that's right. It's already in there. Okay. So you're just going to copy all of this down and we delete everything from our thing at the moment?
Thank you. I forgot to do this myself before because I was thinking up a way for Phelan to new character, and I got pretty preoccupied with that.
Sorry, so my internet dropped out again. What just happened?
Yeah,
Are
we
we
just
still just
we were
sorting
still
it
just
out?
going through that. That's all we were, is
Okay.
dumping out everything. So, okay, cool. So, I guess Throwing Bear will find his gear when sort of he gets over to that.
Zargash will just pick up Throwing Bear's gear for him.
Yeah, okay. Which, by the way, the bag for Throwing Bear's stuff isn't there. So he'd still have his empty backpack on his back at the moment.
Oh, actually, I'll say the Viking. Phelan's short swords are there on the ground as well.
Including the +1 one. Okay.
Yes. It is covered in blood, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, didn't notice how good it looked. Okay.
Zargash hands the dagger back to Rennie. As well.
Don't. Has Phelan's character sheet been completely deleted or just archived? Archived. Okay, well, you'll have to go through all of that and sort of
Yeah,
what's there, so because none of us can access that.
Well, is Phelan's bag in there? Because Zargash will just pick that up as well then.
Am I correct in saying Phelan had a magical hat?
No.
No, she did not.
I just had a hood on all the time to hide my horns.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was
I
thinking he
take
had
her
a
hood. Joking.
For some reason, I was thinking he had a disguised self hat.
No, I was able to cast Disguise Self, though.
Alright, so I'll let everyone else sort out what they're doing over there before I continue on with what I'm doing over here with Phelan and Bear.
Yeah.
Zargash is just going to carry the rest of the shit that he can.
Basically, yeah, as soon as we get the equipment, I
I'm
would
going
like
over to where Throwing Bear is as well.
go up to Throwing Bear and say, if we wanted to do something about this, we should follow them whilst the tracks are fresh.
Yeah, okay, so where you'd find Throwing Bear is probably laid Phelan's body on a clean section of Bear's body. That's actually, how does Bear's body look? Like, what am I looking at? Is it still the same as it was when Rennie felled it?
It seems like they did not desecrate it,
Okay.
but they thought of doing it.
How do I determine that they thought of that?
You get the feeling.
Okay. At that feeling, like, Throwing Bear would turn around and, like, kick the door behind him clean off the hinges. But still place the Phelan's body down on Bear's, body and just kind of be standing there, like, crying. Still mouth agape, looking as if he's trying to scream, but nothing's coming out. So that'd be how Rennie had sort of, or everyone else, if they're all coming over, would find Throwing Bear.
That was a bit of a joke as well, but I'll just say that you find alive on the floor. That's why.
Okay.
So on the way there, Jason, can I find any cloth or blankets or any sheets, anything like that? Curtains?
There's ruined curtains all around the place.
Alright, well, I'll tear a few of those down.
They are ruined, so they have holes in it and everything.
That's fine. And I put it over the worst of the wounds, so that...
Her entire body's covered in wounds.
Yeah, it'd be basically wrapping it up ready for burial if we were going to do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you see any part, you can clearly see that she's...
Okay, so basically the final knife wound that's on...
You can't tell.
Throwing Bear would, like, as soon as you try to do anything like that, Throwing Bear would, like, put his hand up and say,
Leave the body alone. If
Actually, I don't think he'd be very loud. I think he's kind of, like, screamed himself hoarse. But you'd hear, like, the whisper of him sort of, like, no. It's not natural. Leave it alone.
Alright, well, I go over and I put try to put a sheet over, Phelan's head, like where Phelan's head would have been, just so we can't see that she's headless. And then I turn to the others and say I would like to... What's the word for the burning? I would like to cremate them and
Throwing Bear would turn and, like, stand his ground and say that's not happening.
Sorry, just real quick. How would Alex feel knowing that she could have? She was the last one out, and she was the only one closest to Phelan.
Yeah, she's feeling very guilty at the moment, but she's not one to show her feelings like that in front of other people.
So she's not one to show sad feeling.
No, she'll show angry feelings, which is probably what's about to happen.
Alright, continue.
So Alexia turns to Throwing Bear and says, what would you like to do then?
they will be returned to the wild. They will be given back to nature, and the beasts and the insects and the circle will continue with their bodies. They may be buried, but they will not be burned. And, like, you can kind of hear that his voice is sort of, like, changing a bit. Like, it's a lot more raspy. But, yeah.
Also, at this side of this study, your character feels a kind of little inadequate that Throwing Bear is giving you a lecture on the wild. Even though you're the druid.
You're a druid.
Yeah. I turn to him and say, I don't want to leave this violence here. Like, we can't just leave them here to rot. Ash still gives beauty and nutrients back to the earth. I don't want to see them eaten by other animals. I would like to...
At that, like, Throwing Bear would kind of, like, stand up tall and, like, kind of be very much so looking down at Alexia and say that
by burning the body, it gives nutrients to the plants, but by leaving the body, it gives nutrients to the animals, which in turn, when they die, will give nutrients to the plants. That is the way of the circle. You should know this.
And I do, but I don't want to carry them outside without head. Phelan is headless.
Then get out of the way.
Revenge.
I burst through these curtains and enter the room, and I say, I don't care.
So, at the moment, they're over where Bear is. So, Throwing Bear's taking
I burst into whatever room you guys are in. I say, I don't care what we do with the bodies, but I want to get revenge. I'm not allowing this to go.
And with that, Throwing Bear looks at Rennie, like, with cold acceptance, and he would look to Silda and Gundren and say, did Gundren come in? He didn't, did he?
Jason?
I think we were talking about him following it.
Sorry, it's just I keep forgetting I mute my mic. Gundren is currently outside.
Okay.
He abstained from me.
Throwing Bear, like, looks to Silda and says, Silda, you and Rennie take Phelan's body out. Thargash and I will work with Bear and get Bear out, and then we go.
You have 15 minutes before I leave, and I storm out. I also start looking for tracks.
I ask if they need help with the bodies. Otherwise, I'm going to go see whether I can start following these, start figuring out where these tracks lead. Try and get a-
Yeah, that's what Lexi just said. So if you go and help her, we'll take care of it.
So, the question is it going to be quicker for Sildar to move Phelan's body on his own, or is it going to be quicker for Sildar to work with Rennie?
It's a body. It's easier if someone works with them.
Yeah. So that's why Throwing Bear was suggesting that Rennie and Sildar work together for Phelan, and he's getting Thargash to help him as best as possible with Bear.
Yep. Alright, so you guys take the bodies out, and after some weight pulling, and it was hard to even drag these bodies out. I mean, these are your fallen companions.
Yeah.
Your long lost friend and someone you grew up with. Feeling, although you only knew her short, you didn't really deserve death like this. It's hard to even carry them out, but you also feel by revenge and the need to get this over and done with.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
So Throwing Bear, like, is kind of like, he's shaking, like he's, you know, barely contained in his body while he's working his way through this, and he's moving like very quickly, as quickly as he possibly can.
Thargash is actually taking an interest in how Throwing Bear is dealing with this rage, just as a side. That it complies with helping.
Yeah. So yeah, so we.
You guys don't have anything to dig them in with.
No, I don't really imagine that Throwing Bear is intending on burying the bodies strictly. Like, it's more probably find like a.
Them with the
Sorry?
leaves and things that are around.
Yeah, it would probably try and find like a hollow in the ground, or like kind of like an alcove, like a rocky alcove, or like a tree. Kind of a couple of trees that have fallen in a way that kind of creates a.
What about a rocky cairn? You just pile a bunch of rocks over them.
Throwing Bear would nod but would say, "We don't have the time."
There are plenty of rocks from the rubble here, so you actually would be able to do it with.
Yeah, but we don't
Pretty
have
hastily.
time.
Yeah, and considering that he's taking them into the edge of the forest, so back out the 50 feet or whatever it is to within the tree line. Would just be trying to find like some place that's kind of.
And then it would take some time if you're
Yeah.
going to go all the way to the tree forest and try and find
Yeah.
rocks to do it.
Well, the way he's looking at it, there's no way that it being near civilization would really be doing the wildlife the true justice. So he's trying to do as right as he possibly can while still itching to get revenge.
So, you know what? I'm just gonna say you find what were you looking for again? Hollow.
Kind of like a hollow, like a natural sort of bowl, or like a natural kind of shelter, as formed like by like some trees that have fallen, or like some rocky outcrests or something like that. Some place that the bodies can be placed that are mildly protected from the weather, but are still open to the elements.
That's quite specific.
It's if it's available. If it's not, it's just going to be like into a place near a large tree that's kind of there. Like
You can easily find a large tree.
yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for.
Because I mean, anything clearing. I mean, maybe there's some chopped trees down around the castle.
Yeah. And while Throwing Bear's doing this, like he's indicating that Phelan should be sort of effectively interred in the same place. He would grab he'd grab a section of rope and probably like tie 2 rocks to it and then throw it over like a low branch. It's kind of like a marker, but have it set up so that the rocks sort of dangle pretty much at the same height. Kind of like a rocky wind chime sort of thing. And he would... I imagine he'd sort of like lick his thumb and then press it over the blood, and do it once for both Bear and for Phelan, and then press those thumbprints onto the rocks. It's kind of like a final memento sort of thing. And as he stands up to leave, I imagine he would try and find a piece of Phelan's cloak or something that is not completely ruined, and like just tear a section of that out and then bag that.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's holes in it, but I mean, it's not like it's completely ruined.
Yeah, he's not after the whole thing. He's just after like a strip.
Yeah, that's easy enough to find.
Yeah.
Wait, I missed part of that. A strip of what?
Your cloak.
Aww.
Zelda says, your companion was a brave one. It's unfortunate that she lost her life in such a place.
And with that, like with that being said, Throwing Bear would sort of like look at Silda. His eyes are like completely red, but a single tear is sort of like rolling down the side of his cheek, and he just nods, and then with that picks up his gear and like starts stalking like a predator towards where the footprints were, and like to try and help and track him down.
And can I jump in before they actually reach me?
How do you want to jump in?
So my roll, because
you want to do
they were taking it out. Yeah. So I got 26, nat 20.
Yeah, it's just I was doing the thing first, that's why. So, yeah, you're able to find some tracks leading north. I'll just take you to the actual map now. Nikki, I am changing a bit of your intro kind of thing, so...
Yeah, do you want to just PM me?
It would be a bit long.
Okay.
No, I can talk. You guys can hear me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's back. I can hear you guys.
Yeah, so I'm saying you found some tracks.
All right, as I'm
heading northwest.
northwest, cool. As I'm looking for the tracks and like sort of sifting through, I'm like I'm thinking about how I thought Phelan was behind me, and like reflecting upon how rude I was with her at times, and that I left her behind, and that it was sort of up to me to make sure that she was behind me, and like I'd start sort of tearing up. And then as people like come up
Reddy
to me,
did come with you, right?
Yep.
I thought you were moving the body. I thought you were
Yeah, he was helping move Phelan so that we got that done quicker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so as people come up to me, I like hear them coming or see them coming, and then I like sort of wipe my tears and then pretend that I'm fine, but people will probably
just
see
do
them
like
crying.
a performance kind of check, see how well you can play it off. Also, roll me one more time with someone advantage. Because I'm pretty sure you're feeling pretty bad about this.
It's still a pretty good roll.
Yep, unless you guys are actively looking for it, plays it off pretty well.
Throwing Bear's too intent. He's
Yeah.
not paying attention to anything except what's going to get him closer to his quarry.
Quarry.
Yep.
Ash pipes up as we sort of all get together and see that Ash has found the tracks, and says, well, because of feeling that we all survived, I think the best thing we can do for her now is get this revenge, so I'm glad we've picked up on what to do next.
Yeah, so Throwing Bear would make it like abundantly clear that nothing matters except tracking them down at this moment. So
Well, we're following Alexia's lead at the moment.
Yeah. Once I see everyone come up,
while
I
you're
say,
tracking
are
as
we ready
well,
to go?
a bird poops falls on your head, Alexia. Someone's
Okay.
like, maybe you shouldn't desecrate people's graves. Think.
Wasn't me though.
Oh, bullshit.
Anyways, and I turn around to the party and I say, "Are we ready to go?" Not looking at anyone, just sort of looking over my shoulder.
You'll see Alexia just kind of playing off the bird shit in her hair. It's up to you if you find it funny or not.
Throwing Bear wouldn't notice. He's looking at the ground. He's basically
Okay.
trying to look for the next track. He's trying, basically he's working on his own, and the fact that he's seeing Alexia moving in the direction, and I'm guessing he's probably noticing similar sort of signs, he's moving in that direction as well.
Gundrum, still think it's Troopy and Gundrum. You guys form up to go search for them.
Alright, tracks lead this way, let's go.
Alright. So, as you're searching... can you give me another survival check?
Sandy or
This
Wallace?
time can
Throwing Bear wants in
Henry
on this.
assist her?
Yep, you can assist, but she passes anyways. Heads further north this time. I'm guessing you guys is gonna follow.
Yeah, it's just single-minded at the moment.
Yep. So you get 3 ones and roll me one more.
I
Nah.
You are rolling with advantage as well, so yeah, you do. You're finding the tracks are getting heavier,
What are you saying, Rennie?
but you do reach the end. Actually, for that, let me reveal the map. Reveal the fucking map.
Are you on the map layout?
There we
There
go.
we go.
Alright, alright. You guys notice, as you're tracking these marks, you notice there's some signs of a scuffle.
Throwing Bear's sort of looking at it, trying to work out which way the scuffle went, and trying to work out what's happened.
Can I do a perception roll to see, look for any bodies, any weapons, anything that might tell me what's happened here?
that'd be survival.
Yeah, that's what Throwing Bear's doing as well.
Okay, then
You want me to roll a survival on that one, or?
Possible.
I'm +6, so up to you guys.
Yeah, so essentially, you guys, with that roll, I'll say you can tell there's someone with somehow one group ended up these two groups ended up running into each other. The other group was a party of 1, and seems like they were a bit overwhelmed. But you can see some bloody tracks.
And there's no
hey.
bodies?
No bodies.
Like
And there's only one set of tracks or 2?
fresh bloody tracks, or
You can't tell. You can't tell how many. There's it seems like they moved a lot around here.
Group of some number is moving in a new direction. Is that what we picked up?
So looking at it, I'm not
Give me
seeing.
no, I'll check if you want to get the full scope of what happened.
Yeah, that's what Throwing Bear's trying to work out. So
Yeah. So just let's roll another one. Oh damn, these rolls. Alright, so you guys are able to find out that after they started to run in, the Hobgoblins tried to pursue, but because of can see that the tracks are clearly a lot heavier than the other person's.
Yeah.
Probably from all the crap they stole from you.
Yeah. Lugging all of Throwing Bear's gold.
Yep. That they weren't able to catch up to the person, but you do see a blood trail. The goblin's trails go in a different direction up to some point, but the bloody trail goes in another direction.
Throwing Bear looks at the rest of the group, and I'm guessing he, picks out that there's another trail that's bloody. But he'd look at the group, and he'd say, "I want the Hobgoblins."
Targash just shrugs.
Well, we have an opportunity to save someone from the Hobgoblins.
From what we've seen, from the tracks, they're heading in different directions, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, as Throwing Bear would point that out. That whoever it was, either they got away or they're dead.
You do notice there's a fair bit of blood bleeding in that direction.
This person is bleeding profusely. We weren't able to save Phil, and I'd like to think we can at least save someone else. We can come back and follow the tracks to the Hobgoblin.
Throwing Bear's looking incredibly agitated. He's looking in the direction of the Hobgoblin tracks.
Targash says, I think that's what Phelan would want us to do.
Yeah, I don't think that would make much of a difference to Throwing Bear's stance. He's completely consumed.
Well, we could also use another pair of hands. Maybe they'll be willing to help us if we save them.
Maybe we'll lose them if we don't keep following the Hobgoblins.
Do we have any idea of how long ago this happened?
That early, yeah, but it wasn't. It's actually pretty recent.
Looks like within, say, the last 6 hours or so?
Yes.
Well, Targash turns around and says, well, we've tracked them this far after having a day's head start on us. We're catching up. This looks pretty recent.
Based on the tracks that we had seen, how long did it look like those tracks were down? As a rough idea, how long after we left the castle, the night before, did it look like they...
You need to be a range of all that kind of stuff. If you want exact times, I'm just giving you...
I'm not looking for exact. I just want to know, I have an idea if they left that night or they left in the morning,
from what you can tell,
yeah. I figured, Throwing Bears...
You didn't really look around in the castle, so...
They were more focused on the tracks.
Hold up.
Throwing Bear was...
Hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah, those tracks, I'd wager that we did. We followed those tracks. We were paying close attention to our surroundings in the castle, following the blood trail. We would have had an idea. We would have been looking out for signs of...
And I'd go as far as to say Throwing Bear's sort of history would mean, he'd have an idea on, how quickly tracks degrade in the wild. So... Based on that information, would Throwing Bear have any idea on how long? I'm not looking for exact time. I'm not looking for ranger sort of style thing. It's more a case of, did they leave the night before or did they leave that morning?
Then that morning. Actually, no, they would have left the night before.
Okay, if they left the night before, Throwing Bear would still be looking towards the Hobgoblin tracks. Would be much more intent on tracking them down.
Actually, never mind, because they had to come back, so they would actually have to rest then. They did come back from partying as well, so You actually, I did say before, so you would have found a campsite away from the, not far from the Cragmaw Castle.
Right.
So, following that, they did leave the Cragmaw Castle, but not too far away from it.
And if this scuffle looks recent, we know that they're fairly, relatively.
I turn to Throwing Bear and say, what if that's somebody else's feeling? How would you feel if somebody just left feeling there, knowing that she was injured?
Or at least knowing that someone could help.
With that, I wouldn't say Throwing Bear softens, but he does look back at you like the rest of the party.
How about we call a vote?
Regardless of what you guys do, I'm gonna go and try and save the person. I've already
Hold
lost
on.
one.
How about we
But-
just call a vote and see where everyone's head's at here?
I don't see the point in voting. I am going to go help this person.
Throwing Bear will pipe up and turn around and say he will. I will help, but 2 hours. If we don't find them within then, I'm looking for the goblins.
Agreed.
Alright, Targash goes along.
You are nearing the end of your travel day anyway, so when you follow this track, you're gonna have to set up a camp pretty soon.
Oh, okay. So it's like getting late evening sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, yeah, Throwing Bear would say, okay, we'll look for 2 hours. If we don't find them, then the next morning we're heading back towards well, he's heading towards the Hobgoblins.
Yeah.
Following the blood trail.
You start following the blood trail. Alright. New character time.
Sorry, it's Amalia, but
Yeah.
her nickname's Pup.
Puff. Alright, so Puff. You give me a perception. Also, it is getting dark now. Not much sunlight left. Alright.
Can we just keep these rolls going, yeah?
You watch, combat will come around and we'll all roll ones.
Alright, so as you're banding yourself up, you hear some branches break and such. What would Pup do?
I'd look up, alert, kind of, where am I?
You are currently in you're taking care of your wounds, so what would Pup do?
Am I in a clearing? Am I just in the middle of trees? Like,
Would
just...
Pup treat her wounds in a clearing?
No, I'm probably in a series of trees. I have my back up to the tree, and I pull out my bow with an arrow at the ready.
You are currently wounded, though, so it's kind of.
I know, but I hear the rustling, and so it's
yeah.
brought my attention.
Even when when you bring up your bow, it is hard to lift up. Just bringing the.
Yep, that's fine. I just need to.
Alright, so as you guys are walking by, you. Sorry, where were you again? Oh.
My back's up against a tree. I'm not in a clearing. I'm just surrounded by trees, but my back is against a tree.
Okay. So, give me another survival check.
Me?
Nah. Whoever's tracking, advantage at this point.
I feel like Alexia and Rennie would be at the head of the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
you
survival
roll with
check?
advantage.
Yeah,
then.
advantage. Advantage.
Yeah, it's not asking me. Jesus, who said that we were getting good rolls?
14's not bad.
Yeah.
Though it's 14 off an 8.
I mean, 14 should be enough to pass this, anyways. I mean, as you get to this point, you notice that the track gets even denser, more branches broken, footprints are nice and deep into the ground. And you notice that the grass is also being like it's got like an animal kind of path because someone's been brushing off and dragging themselves across. So you're able to put together if you're probably really close by to whoever is you've been tracking.
Can I talk yet?
Yes.
I put my hand up to the others and like tell them to stop and look at Rennie and say maybe just us two.
I think we should still go as a group, but it does seem like they're close. We could try calling out, but I don't know if that'll attract any other unwanted attention.
At this discussion, Throwing Bear would kind of like try and stalk into the shadows a bit and sort of like try and be less noticeable. Do you want me to roll a stealth check on that?
If you're trying to sneak, you can try.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, you're suddenly reminded of Scylla trying to sneak and dragging his armor across the walls.
I think Throwing Bear's too kind of stuck in his own head. He's not.
Alright, so Throwing Bear doesn't realize it, but everyone else does.
I hear Throwing Bear, and I say, Throwing Bear, just stop. We don't want to scare this person away. And then I call out, hello, is anyone out there? But like not too loudly, just like softly. And I say, like, we have bandages if you need help.
I guess he's just hanging way the fuck back.
Okay, in a raised voice, I yell out, we want to help. We know you're injured, and we know Hobgoblins attacked. We wanted to hunt down and kill the Hobgoblins.
Just as a question, Jason, based on the tracks, I'm guessing we're able to determine that it's a humanoid?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was going to say, like, without knowing that it's a humanoid, we could be, like, tracking a wild boar.
Yeah, I was half tempted just to swap the
feeling out, pop out for a for a boar or something, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Puppy, you hear them calling out?
Yep. I'm still freaked out about the fact that I'm injured and was just attacked by hobgoblins out of the blue.
I call out and say, I'm going to come even further and follow your tracks. I've got my arms up. Just talk with us and like sort of keep following the tracks with my arms up.
When you find me, I'm very weakly trying to hold up my bow and arrow. I'm obviously really, really struggling with this. It takes a lot of strength to draw the string back, and I've got blood running down the string of the bow.
How do you look like, Pup? Are you old? Are you young?
I'm a young human female. Very scruffy and dirty looking, almost got a grimy quality about me.
As like I see you, like my face softens and I'm like, oh honey, I can make you feel better. Just you can hold the arrow.
Oh, honey, I can make you feel better.
No, okay, she's...
Sorry, let me find some music for this.
Isn't it pour some sugar on me?
Alexia's like 100 and something. She sees a little girl, like not a little girl, but a youngin', and who's all hurt, and she's a little bit cut up about feeling, so she's gonna be...
You're an elf, right? High elf.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out 100 is basically like 18.
Yeah, I know, but it's still a long time. Like, it's still a lot of years.
Yeah, but the maturity level, it's pretty comparative.
I can understand where she's coming from in the sense that an 18-year-old looks like is a child to her.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I'm
in
80 years old.
it's got elf society, not society.
Okay. Question.
She's a human, not an elf.
Question. Is my raven doing anything or anywhere to be found, or?
It is in the tree. I guess I totally forgot about that.
I completely haven't named him either, so.
Currently hanging upside down, like look on its face, like please insert personality here.
You know what? It's not here right now.
Ah. Come on, can't it be in the tree above me so I can look up at it for reassurance?
You see it flying around.
Alright. I look up at the raven, kind of trying to see if he has a sense of whether or not they're friendly.
Can I follow her gaze and see the raven?
Sure, you see dinner.
No. I like animals. They're my friends. I can turn into a raven now. Okay.
That's all you wanted! You fucking bitch! You fucking bitch!
No, you're good. Alright, let's leave her alone. Let's go get the goblins. I like look at her and say, look, I can heal your scratches, I can heal your wounds, just put the arrow down. You can hold on to it, just don't shoot me, because I've had a really bad day.
Give me a concept, but...
Oh.
No, that's a nat one.
After all.
You pass the fuck out.
Okay.
And leaving Alexia to do all types.
To make you feel better, honey.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
Nice.
Oh, honey.
Would Throwing Bear have heard the thud as the bodies hit the deck?
I mean, I'm on the ground slouched up against a tree. I wouldn't have fallen very far.
Do a disadvantage attack roll, because you pass the fuck out and you had your bow draw.
And
it's just to see if you... Yeah, you let loose.
That's another nat one.
Yeah.
I also... Can I do cure wounds on Pop?
So, yeah.
It looks like she's severely wounded. You've seen, like, open wounds before.
Yeah. So, would Throwing Bear have heard Pup hit the deck?
She's slouching against a tree.
I would have, like, slowly fallen to the side.
What would have happened, I guess, when she collapses from exhaustion wounds, she lets go of her bowstring, and the bow drops to the ground, and you can hear the bowstring just, when you draw it back without an arrow.
Alright, so hearing that, hearing the dry fire,
Throwing Bear as well.
Yeah, Throwing Bear would sort of like perk up from wherever he's at and like rush in that direction.
Yeah, so I try and like catch her and make sure her head doesn't fall down, and I cast Cure Wounds on her.
Yeah, roll it.
A 4.
I now have 5 HP.
getting there, Throwing Bear, I'm guessing, sees Pup on the ground, sees the bow near her, so would probably work out that Pup has launched the arrow, and would see Alexia casting Cure Wounds, or having just cast Cure Wounds, I'm guessing. And just kind of like look at the situation and kind of look at Alexia and just shrug at that point and kind of walk away.
No, I need your healing powers.
Alexia's a lead.
Okay, well, I have 5 HP.
And you're feeling really good when you're sleeping.
Oh, honey, we make you look so pretty. Get you a boyfriend.
She's got magic hands.
I don't know if Alexia has disguised self, but she could make herself look like whatever you like.
Hardy ha.
Are spiders or crows your thing?
Rats? Are you into rats?
Duh.
Yeah, I'd like to walk up to Pup, pull out my water skin and sort of try and prop her upright a little bit and give her a bit of water. I assume she's still unconscious.
So I don't regain consciousness with Cure Wounds?
No.
Okay.
And then
If someone can help me carry her back.
yeah, did Throwing Bear walk away?
Yeah, he's started to walk away. He's probably not too far away. You'd be able to call him back if that's what you wanted.
Yeah, I'd like to go after Throwing Bear. And do I catch up to you, or?
Yeah, I imagine you would.
Cool.
Yeah, you are also reaching your end of the travel, so.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're going to be camping for the night. But so.
Yeah, we need to go to sleep soon.
What do you do when you catch up to Throwing Bear?
I say, look, she's injured like we were yesterday. Are you able to do anything to tend to her wounds?
How close are you standing to Throwing Bear at this point?
Yeah, close.
Okay, Throwing Bear turns around and launches a punch at you.
That's fine. I probably get... I'm not ready for it, and I probably get knocked prone.
Is it?
Yeah, that hit.
Okay. So he hits you and seeing you. So are you like taking the hit and falling prone? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. He'd look at you and then sort of kind of like step forward and sort of like be standing over you and turn around and say, that's for not listening to me. That's for killing my friend. And then he'd step straight over Rennie and head over towards Pup.
I stand up and I start yelling at Throwing Bear. I would like to try and be intimidating.
If you are all intimidation, see how intimidating you can be.
Cool. Fingers crossed.
I mean,
Hey!
it's up to Throwing Bear to feel how intimidated he is.
You know what? The moment that Rennie starts to raise his voice, Throwing Bear would turn around and like his face gets flushed and he just lets loose with an absolute roar, like straight up bear roar. And with that, like you can see like his the veins in his neck and face and arms and everything else are like start bulging. And like his whole body is pulsing with just like pent up rage. I'd pretty much say like he's shrugging the intimidation straight off.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like essentially, Rennie, how do you feel about that? I'm pretty sure you would get disadvantage after that. It's like,
That's fine.
wait a minute.
No, I'd still be furious, and I don't think he would pursue it further, but I say, I realise you've been travelling with her the longest, but I consider that I also lost a comrade. I cared for her as much as you did, or as much as I assume you did. We all lost someone that we care about. I realise Alexia didn't get along with Phelan, but I cared for her greatly.
No, so Bear, Throwing Bear was referring to Bear.
Oh.
Yeah. That was
the whole final blow on Bear.
Oh, okay, whatever. I just assume you're talking about Phelan.
No,
so.
he was yeah. I suppose he didn't exactly make it clear with what he said. He wasn't really thinking clearly, but yeah, that's where that was.
But if Rennie's interpreted it as Phelan, like...
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I say. And look, we've come out here, we've saved this person, but they're gonna die, and you're the only one that has the skills to be able to save her. Now, are you gonna save her?
I'd say as Rennie's saying this, and I think Rennie's words would kind of like get through, and Throwing Bear would calm a little bit, but he'd still be in a very like hulked out stance. And with that, he'd sort of like he'd kind of like pipe up and say, "You don't know my loss," and then turn around and walk over towards Pup. And yeah, I'm guessing he'd head over towards Pup and then basically start trying to help her in any way that he can.
When you approach, are you still looking angry, or?
I'm pretty sure you would have heard the roar, so.
I think, you definitely would have heard the roar. Would you have turned around and looked at that, or?
Yeah, I would have.
So you would have seen the interaction, and I'm guessing you would have heard what was, said as well. And at this particular point, like, I think Throwing Bear would look... He wouldn't look like Throwing Bear generally has. He would look cold, very hard, but focused. And he'd, head over towards Pup. He doesn't look... it looks stoic, yeah.
Alexia sort of like stops and looks at him and thinks for a moment, and then like nods and moves away from Pup for you to come in and help her as well.
Yeah.
Although she's stabilized, I'm pretty sure, isn't she?
Well,
I've got an open wound.
Yeah. So Throwing Bear would be like working on that, and I think Throwing Bear would be very silent while he's working on this.
Grudgingly saving a life.
No, not that. Like introspective. Like he's almost going through the motions, sort of thing.
So does that mean the medicine checks with disadvantage?
No, like I'd say if anything,
I'm just gonna hand wave it.
I know. I was just.
Yeah. I was gonna say if anything, I think it would be with advantage because he's paying more attention to kind of like the method of doing it. He's not being distracted by anything else.
But when you get to Pup, you notice that her body's a bit hot, and Alexia's kind of looking away from it, and just doing the whole whistle thing.
Are you like flushed with color or attractive?
Yeah. Flushed with color.
Okay.
Alright, can we finish it here before we go on? Because we need to go to bed.
We do finish at 9:30.
I thought we were doing 9.
9. Start at 7. We end at 9:30. Do you mind if we go on for just another 12 minutes?
Well, after this interaction, as long as we don't start anything else.
Well, I just want to get the introduction out of the way because Nikki hasn't really been able to do anything this session, so. Doesn't everyone mind?
I'm happy to keep going.
I would like to get the introduction out of the way.
Yeah,
and finish
at least this interaction out of the way.
start
Yeah,
along.
because we're not going to do any combat tonight, but at least we can get the intro out of the way.
But if it goes past 9:30, I'm just gonna hop off.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Alright, so continue on. So you guys set up camp for the night as well, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm guessing...
Do any of you look through my pack to see if I've got any like camping gear or anything?
No, Throwing Bear wouldn't. After he's kind of determined that Pup is kind of stable, he'd probably go about sort of like helping to set up camp. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you guys get your long night's rest, except Throwing Bear, because I'm guessing he stood up. I mean, actually, you guys can all just freaking, and everyone else's watch, you guys pretty much supervise over it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Whoever's taking watch looks after Pup.
Yeah. Not too hard to do, as well with Droopy and Gundam around.
And Fargash is going to opt to not look after her, so that she doesn't wake up seeing a big burly orc in her face.
I've used a couple of spells, so I'd like to be able to get a full night's sleep.
Still can.
Oh, I
Yeah.
still can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, then...
You guys are getting a full night's rest, it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's, you wake up in the morning,
Do I wake up before everyone else by any chance? Because I'm the only one that didn't have to stand watch.
While it was Throwing Bear's watch, he'd probably be like running his hands over the feather engraved quarterstaff, and would probably start tying some of the owlbear feathers to one end of it.
Yeah, just real quick, that's fine, we can do that on your watch. Let's make a note or something on that.
Yeah.
Who had the last watch?
I can.
Do you want me to just
already.
pick?
I'm happy to do a watch.
I'd say Rennie can do the last watch. I'm pretty sure that the last watch would also be awake, so
So I wake up and Rennie's awake?
Yeah, Rennie, you can hear, see that this person is starting to stir.
I don't really acknowledge. Did any of you set up a campfire or anything, or no?
Throwing Bear would have, yeah.
Okay. I don't really acknowledge Rennie. I just kind of stir up the fire to kind of get it going again and add some wood to it, and then I start looking around for the raven.
Yeah, your raven starts calling when you wake up.
All right. I pull out some seed out of my pocket and I kind of hold it out for him.
It flies down and starts eating from your hand. Oh, lands in your hand, starts eating.
Yay. All right.
And then it shifts in your hand.
Hey.
Alright, it doesn't actually happen.
Thank you.
This time.
And like as he's eating from my hand, I kind of use the other hand to stroke his neck. And
Of course.
And I lean my forehead towards it to kind of like snuggle. And then I'm guessing it would fly away after it's had its share.
I'm pretty sure.
Or land on my shoulder.
Yeah, I think you should come up with the personality for it, so.
Alright. I kind of like. You know how cats do the headbutt thing? Where they like put their forehead. Yeah, I do that with the raven, and then it kind of like just pops on my shoulder.
When you do it, it pokes your eye out. You're one-eyed now.
Ha ha ha! Very funny. And he hops on my shoulder, and I kind of just give him a little bit of a brush underneath his beak, and go back to tending the fire. I look over at Rennie, and I'm like, "Morning."
Yes. Good morning. kind of nearly died, and I offer her my water skin. Yeah.
I take the water skin, and as I do it, you realize that my hands are kind of just dirty. And I just take a drink and hand it back to you, but the water skin's now covered in the dirt from my hands.
Well, that doesn't faze me. So, I assume you got attacked by the Hobgoblins.
Yeah. Not very fair for a party of one to come against that.
I break down sobbing and say, that's our fault. We attacked them at a castle. One of our allies died and they retreated into the woods. If we had been successful, you also wouldn't have been injured.
And I also wouldn't have had the pleasure of meeting you, I guess. And I hand out...
Sorry, just add this up. I guess sorry about you start this as well. Well, the rest of the party.
Okay.
I hold out my hand towards Rennie and I'm like, Pup's my name, barking's not my game.
You actually used that?
Yep.
At that, like, Throwing Bear sort of, like, shoots up, bolt upright, like he's covered in sweat. It looks like he's probably woken up in a panic. And then looking around, he would subconsciously put his teddy bear back in his pack, and then stand up and walk over towards the fire and over towards Pup, and just say, how are your wounds?
Much better this morning. Who do I have to thank for that?
Well, all of us, I guess.
Droopy helped.
I nod at Throwing Bear.
You see a goblin.
You're aware that there's a goblin in your party, right?
How does Pup deal with the fact that Throwing Bear looks so different as well?
Well, see, Pup's a recluse and very wild herself. Like, if you look at her, her hair's all matted, she's covered in dirt. She's got a freaking raven sat on her shoulder. I don't think she's gonna really...
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Throwing Bear had sort of pointed the goblin, pointed himself, and then pointed Thargash and say, we are all different in our own ways.
I get that. It's just the goblin's a little unusual, that's all.
Well...
Droopy serves masters. Droopy has multiple masters. Droopy lost a master.
Yes, Droopy. And, like, Throwing Bear kind of clears his throat a bit and says,
We're going after the hobgoblins as soon as everyone's up. If you can fight, I would not say no to you getting revenge.
If I can fight.
Well, you did take a pretty big beating.
Yeah, party of one versus a whole bunch of hobgoblins. Of course I'm gonna fail. Look, the name's Pup.
Oh, so you did walk into them.
Yeah. The name's Pup. I am a pretty good shot. By the way, I seem to be missing an arrow. Did anyone come across that at all?
Throwing Bear just shakes his head and then sort of pipes up and says,
My name's Throwing Bear.
and then, like, he kind of just stalls for a moment and then turns around and walks away.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, nice to meet you and hold up my hand for a handshake. So that's two of you now that have rejected the handshake. Is it because I'm so grimy? I don't actually say that, by the way.
Adult game.
Hearing all the ruckus, I like wake up and like look at Pop and say, "Oh, you're awake. How are you feeling?"
Much better, thank you. You're the... If I remember correctly, you knocked me out?
I didn't do anything of the sort. You just passed out, lady.
Actually, when you look at her, you gotta get a little bit flustered.
Alright, well...
Actually, you don't.
The name's Pup, and I kind of hold my hand out for a handshake. Please don't ask me to bark. It's not my thing.
Why would I do something like that? And I shake your hand.
You're aware, like you see that my hand is covered in grime and dirt.
Yeah, but as you could do shake a hand, you do notice the poop in Alexia's hand.
Well, because I spent some time in the wild as well, so I didn't. And I'm a druid. Like, dirt doesn't really scare me.
But you're also a high elf, so...
A noble-born high elf.
I feel like...
Who hangs out with a half-orc?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Like, because I was, for a year on my own in the wild, I got pretty gross myself.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I'll go and clean my hand later when I'm not being rude, but that's something that you guys won't know.
Fair enough.
And I say my name's Alexia.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And who's the rest of your group? And I kind of point at like Silder and Thargash.
The one drooling over there is Thargash. He's like a big teddy bear.
I imagine you're scratching his ass in your sleep at the moment.
And then we've got Droopy. He's the...
Yeah, I am Droopy. I serve masters.
Yes, you've said that. Are you guys slave keepers?
Oh gosh, no. We found
you're not
Droopy.
Droopy's master?
We are, and I like sort of whisper to Pup, like, he needs a master. We try to get him away from that, but there's only so much you can do. And I say, then we've got Sildar and Gundren. We will get them back to safety, but first we're gonna get a little bit of revenge on the same creatures that did that to you.
Yeah, I'd like to have a hand in that.
Has anyone updated you on that?
Yeah.
I hold out my hand and I say sorry about the outburst before. I'm ready, and I attempt to shake your hand.
Yeah, and I shake it. Your hand comes back covered in grime and dirt.
Oh no.
I kind of take the hood off my head, revealing like very matted, almost nest-like hair, and Raven kind of climbs up on top of my head.
Have you considered maybe a hairbrush? Like, those knots must be getting painful. They must like get stuck in twigs and branches. Do you want some help?
Okay, I really need a name for this Raven right now.
Well, we can roll one out.
Then what would Carl sit on? And I point at the Raven. Raven's now named Carl.
Carl is whom? Sorry.
The Raven?
Oh.
I say almost like you're an idiot.
Oh, right, you pointed at it, sorry. And I, like, look at it and say, oh, you've got a pet raven?
I think I'm more his pet than anything.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that the bird can go anywhere else except for your hair. I mean, that's not really where birds belong. But To each their own.
It's where Carl belongs.
Who wants some food? And I sort of turn away to make some food.
Yeah, I'm missing an arrow. You wouldn't happen to know where it is, would you?
No, but we're heading back that way, so we can have a look for it, if you would like.
There was an arrow that she did drop.
It's alright. I got plenty more.
So,
And I set to work kind of trying to clean the blood off the bowstring, because that's going to make it difficult to fire if I don't.
Throwing Bear's at the moment sort of like packing up his belongings.
I'm sat cross-legged on the ground, and I put a pile of birdseed in front of me for Carl to kind of eat while I'm working on the bowstring.
I pipe up to the rest of the party. We need to be quick if we want to be able to find these tracks again, and I get up and I'm going to start trying to pack up the campsite as much as possible.
Me too.
Jason, during my scuffle, did I get any kind of idea of where they were headed? Or did they just obliterate me?
I mean, the way I imagine it is like you were walking through the forest after like about to hunt some deer or whatever, and you ended up wandering into them. They didn't notice you, so they wandered into you as well. And because you're a ranger, you weren't really prepared to fight in close range.
Oh, I'm not a ranger, but an archer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And unfortunately, you couldn't get away without getting a few scratches.
Yep.
Well, yeah, Throwing Bear's probably finishing up his things and would...
Actually, since Sandy and Mark are gone, I think we should try and finish it up now.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to be heading towards. Alright. Well, that was a fun, if somewhat slightly intense session.
Yeah, it was so sad listening to you guys like...
I mean, a character's death is kind of important, so...
Yeah, I know. And not being able to pipe up and say things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted you to at least have some lines.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, unfortunately some things do take a while, and I didn't want to just brush over your death as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess we should probably wrap up the stream and then we can get into post-stream banter.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, so that's the end of tonight's session. We're going to continue this in a fortnight. We run Jason's campaign every fortnight, 7:30 p.m., usually till 9:30. And we also have my campaign that I run. That's every Friday night, 7:30 until whenever we finish. So we will have that next week. Actually, yeah. So that's all pretty exciting. I hope to see you guys there for that. There is generally a post-stream banter that's uploaded 3 days after each session. So the session that was on Friday night, unfortunately I won't have a post-stream banter up on Monday because I think everyone was pretty buggered and I forgot to hit record and missed out on it. So, but there will be a post-stream banter uploaded on Wednesday for tonight's session. It's generally just where we all talk about what's happened in the session, some other random bits and pieces, and you get a little bit of an insight into who we are as people and like some of our random antics and that sort of thing. It can be pretty fun. But yeah, it's been a great session, and I hope to catch you next time in next session. See you all then. Bye.
Bye. Don't forget to smash that like button, and while you're down there, leave us a comment and subscribe.
Lion?
Don't forget to hit that bell button.
Yep, do that one.